Okay, let's look at a couple of quick tips for putting together an infographic using Adobe Creative Cloud Express. Now, I've already got a starting point here, but we want to add in some shapes and images to help us explain the concepts that we want to put across in this quick little graphic. So there are three things in a row here. We've got photos, shapes, and design assets. They're the main things that you can use to add some imagery in there. I'm going to start with shapes to put a little bit of a background in here. Now, basic shapes here, you've got basic shapes and then you've got lots and lots of icons. Basic shapes are really handy because they can just be really movable and transformable. So I'm going to start with rectangle. Well, let's see, I want one that's going to have an outline on it. So I'll get rid of this first one. And now we add things from the left, and then over on the right, I can change it up a little bit. So I'm going to select my color scheme here, and it's going to be nice and orange. And this is what basic shapes will do. They'll let you kind of like drag the dimensions in different ways rather than just, enlarging it in a kind of uniform way. So here we go. And I can move this text around to suit that. So great. So I've got a nice little shape in there. Now let's add an icon. So again, we go to shapes, and I'm going to need to make sure I'm going back to the main shapes menu at the start. And I'll put in talking. And I know we've got this great pumpkin conversation icon here. So here it's coming up here. I can click on that, highlight it, and then that's letting me edit it over on the right-hand side. So I will get this into black, I think is the best way to do it. Great. And then I can put it here. So with other normal shapes like this, these icons, when I enlarge it, it will only kind of enlarge it within that kind of aspect ratio. Whereas the basic shapes here let you squish and stretch different angles. So great. That's adding a couple of things from the shapes. Now I want to add a photo in here. So I'm going to look for pumpkin farmer. And this is from the Adobe stock photo range. That's great. We've got a few really good images here. So I'm going to choose this one. So I'm going to add it here. We add from the left, and then over on the right-hand side, we can edit them. So it's going to add my image. Here we go. So it's added my image. I'm going to now just click on it to select it now. Then over on the right-hand side, we can do things to change it. Now it's a little bit big and clunky here. What I'm going to do is go to crop and shape over here. Now I can change that. I can, crop it in a little bit. And one thing that I'm going to do with this one, I think it's going to suit this graphic nicely, is to put it in a circle shape. So that's going to give you this transform box. If you want to save that, then you can either click the tick up here. You can, look to enlarge and zoom in, but I think it's pretty good where it is. And click the tick or press enter on your keyboard. Perfect. And now we've got this nice circular graphic here. Now, the other thing we can think about here is I've got this arrow, which is now underneath my farmer there. Now, what that's doing is it's in layers, and maybe what I could do is bring that arrow. I've got my layers stacked here. I can bring it up, 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 up. And there we go. So now it's pointing just over the top of that photo there. Great. I can then do that with the other arrow as well, and I'll get rid of my extra photo there. And then I want to add something else in here for a struggle. And so I'm going to go to design assets just so you can just so I can show you the different kind of elements that we've got available here. In design assets, you'll get lots of things like illustrations or patterns, things like frames or textures that you can use. I'm going to go into illustrations and I'm going to find one in people. Let's go for the working people. Yeah, I'm going to choose this guy. Great. And so he's struggling to hear something, and I can just make that a little bit smaller. Now what I'm going to do here is I've also got a little circle over here that I introduced earlier. I'm going to put him on top of that circle to add a little bit more contrast so that he stands out, and I can then adjust this one a little bit. There we go. Excellent. The other thing you can do is if you've got these circles and you want to use those consistently throughout your design, then all you do is just select that circle, and then on the right-hand side, we can use this duplicate button, so the one with a little plus on it, and that's going to give me another circle. So if I wanted to have everything on a yellow circle, I can add them all here and get rid of my other shape and go, no, I'm going to delete that and just have yellow circles to keep it consistent. You can do that. So there's a couple of little shortcuts and ways of importing images into your graphic on Adobe Creative Cloud Express.